And three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Aluminum Tarot. We're back again in a new year, new light, new age. Hopefully have some good things taking place for the year 2025. And we are kicking things off for January, which is going to see a lot of new changes taking shape for our collective as well as our individual signs. Hopefully, this will be a more positive year, one that's a bit better now that we're moving slowly out of this Uranus and Taurus nonsense that we've been putting up with for quite a bit of time. And we can finally start seeing the changes that have been implemented by that transit. So, as always, if you're new, if you're old, you're all welcome. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell so that you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies, feel free to reach out at the information provided in the description box below. So we're going to go ahead and start things. I'm going to kick it off for Taurus because, yes, I'm a Taurus and I am biased. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what's coming into your life for the month of January. And this will be valid from now until the end of January 2025. So I hope everyone had a good new year. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I spent that time with family and friends and just had some really good downtime so where I could just recalibrate and, relax, enjoy some good old American Southern cooked food stuff. But additionally, just kind of take a break from the humdrum of everyday life, which has been rather intense for me over the last um, year and a half, if not last 2 years. Hell, I would even say since 2020. It's been hectic for all of us. That said, we're reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, for January 2025. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what's taking place in Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the year 2025, for January 2025. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards here. Current energy. What is the challenge? Here it comes. Recent past. Sounds about right. Near future. Ooh, great. Nice. What's at the core of this reading? What's at the crown of this reading? Okay. And then what is the likely penultimate outcome for January 2025? Clarify that. Clarify no pistol reverse. Swordsiness. Lots of swords energy. But we did have these cards pop out. This was the Queen of Cups. Nine of Cups in reverse. I'm not sure if I want to take all these cards. It's all over the place. Let's see here. I'll hold off on that one. Let's clarify it with one more card for the penultimate outcome for January 2025. January 2025. Knight of Wands. That sounds about right. So here's what I've got here. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords, which is an indicator that you are getting clear on everything that is taking place in your life to date. You're taking stock of your previous experiences, especially one that has hurt you and caused not irreparable damage, but, that has had a significant knock-on effect from your character development to date. You are proceeding through the minor arcana, especially in the Fool's Journey, and which normally involves the major arcana, but then we have all the characters and casting through of this story, which involves a lot of the court cards as well. So I see you moving away from a minor energy into a massive energy, which is going to take place in this year, which for January 2025 is going to be significant. Flip out the Page of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so what we've got going on here, this also popped in Ten of Swords, which talks about you went through a very difficult ordeal or period within your life in which you faced immense betrayal. You had to deal with very challenging and cumbersome situations where you were tested to your limits to the point where you had that breaking moment. And that's what I talk about with Kintsugi medicine, which is you're broken to the point where you have to put the pieces back together. And furthermore, in doing so, you allow yourself to finally resurrect in a much better, more enlightened fashion. So when it comes to what we have seen over the last few months, I know for Tauruses, me being a Taurus is especially, it's been really hard and it's been very difficult for you to realign yourself into a better energy because it seems like life has been throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at you. But what we see now, your current energy is the Ten of Cups. And this tells us that you have overcome the difficulties that have allowed you to realign your energies towards your ultimate happiness. And in doing so, all of the previous pains and difficulties that you faced are now worth it. You went from the Ten of Swords to the Ten of Cups, which is a profound leap into the completion of a cycle of detrimental experiences which have strengthened your character and forced you to realign with what truly makes you happy. The challenge for all of this is the Three of Cups. You're waiting to celebrate these things because you feel like there's probably some work still that needs to be done. However, that moment will come. It's all about you not feeling afraid of celebrating the future that you will have in this Ten of Cups energy. And I see that this is being clarified by you're no longer preoccupied with the mental aspects of what you've experienced. For example, ruminating or thinking about everything that's taking place, or the pains or the sorrows that you've experienced, the hurt that people have caused you, which is here indicative of the Five of Swords. Clarifying the Five of Swords is the Nine of Swords reversed. At one point, the conflict, the battles, the difficulties that you face did put you in your head, but now you're slowly getting out of that. And you're moving away from that mental energy, as mentioned before, and you're moving into a position of immense power. So what we see here in the near future is that you will have the Emperor and the Strength as the energies that you will be moving into. It is about taking charge, being able to master the self. And I remember listening or reading something. I think it was from Spiritually Fit. She posted something online about the first thing that we should learn to conquer and master is ourselves, which was a Platonian, you know, slogan or saying, a maxim that he created. So I see you actually getting into that. You're going to be going into that energy of mastery of the self, mastery of your domain with the Emperor and the Strength. I'm looking at kind of like a British king or a British emperor at one point in a massive empire, but that empire is yourself. With the Emperor and the Strength, this shows immense resilience, sorry, and it also shows that you may even be stepping into a position of authority in which you need to temper your emotions and temper your negativities in order to fulfill this duty to a gold standard. The emperor is typically a husband or boss figure, and this is someone who leads, directs, and governs others, including all of the operations. Well, what you'll be doing is that in order for you to do this, you're going to have to step in a period of strength. You're going to need to be focused. You're going to need to put away your self-doubts, your fears and insecurities, as mentioned before, because that's what the lion represents. But also, you will need to trust the universe in guiding you into this position of power. Because with this strength, many people have spoken, including Rich Lopp and others, that the woman, the virgin, who is tempering and holding the lion's mouth is also doing so because she trusts the lion and the lion trusts her, so that none of them will be able to hurt each other. And that's where we get the mutually shared energy of trust and faith, which is represented by the infinity symbol here, the 8 on its side, which the number 8 is also the number of the self, which goes back into what we were speaking about with the emperor. You are becoming the master of your own domain, which is yourself and your development. This will then emanate into your macrocosmic influences, which is the world around you. So you strengthen the microcosm, and that is to reflect into the macrocosm as your energies begin to emanate into the physical nominal world. This is what manifestation is really all about. It is about becoming the world that you wish to see, and in turn, the world reflects that, not the other way around, where you have to push and pull and try to get things to work when you yourself do not have the foundation to emanate that energy. So, at the very core of all of this, we have the Page of Cups. I don't see this as you being emotionally closed off, but I see this you filling your own cup. And when it's pointed towards the querent or pointed towards the individual in the reverse position, it shows an internal process that you are now balancing the emotions that you have been developing over the past few years, going from a page possibly into a knight or another kind of card, or even the card of mastery, which is the emperor. You're no longer looking at those immature emotions. Why didn't I do this? Or maybe I should have done that. Or maybe it was my fault. You're no longer blaming yourself for things that happened to you in the past, but you are now getting justice, balance, karma to a degree. All of the actions that you have taken in the recent past are now being reflected in the justice card. You have a black sword, you have a white sword, which represents the positive and negative effects of all the actions that you have taken and that have been reflected in your mind, which are now creating balance within the scales. So by doing this, when we look at ourselves and at the very core of ourselves, we are looking at how we have, developed our emotional maturity and our ability to respond to the world around us. It is showing us now that we are bringing balance to our capabilities, and we are also beginning to rectify some of the old traumas, the old difficulties, the old hurts, the responses that we have had to external stimuli, to the challenges that we've had to face. Maybe in the past you were the type of person that said, "Oh, well, fuck it, everything's going wrong, everything's always bad, it's the other person's fault." But now we're turning inwards and we're actually seeing that, perhaps we have a greater degree of control over things that we have refused to see before. And with the Page of Cups in the reverse, we see that the Page of Cups, we have this fish, which is actually seen as a kind of creativity or wish fulfillment. I know that Chris Reck from Minopon Tarot talks about that, him being a Pisces himself. And he explains that the fish in the cup, it could be there, it could not be there. It's product of your imagination. But the fish generally talks about its kind of mastery of water. So what we're doing now, we're looking inwards. We're being able to be manifest and be creative, not in a detrimental way, but in a way that actually helps us to manifest our deepest desires, leading to that current Ten of Cups energy right there. So you've got the Ten of Cups, which could represent the house, the family, the job, the other things that really, really matter to you and that give you fulfillment. But it can also represent, feeling contentment after that period of the Five of Cups. you know, getting to the 10 of cups, which is double that, and finally moving into a period of completion. So 10, 1 plus 0, or 1 plus 0 is 1. We're now moving into the number of the self once again. So with the Hermit reverse being the energy that is already known, or that is completely visible, we have, okay. So we have here, something told me to take it this way. We have the 3 of Pentacles and we have the 6 of Wands. You're coming out of this Hermit energy. And in doing so, the best way for you to materialize or to utilize coming out of the Hermit energy, where you have gone in, you've done the work internally, now you are coming out and you are applying the lessons from the past and using that to illuminate your pathway forward. You're doing this now by working with other people with 3 of Pentacles, and that's going to help bring in your 6 of Wands moment, which is success. If these cards are flipped, maybe people in the past didn't work with you, and this in turn made you feel like you were failing at life. So you may have had bosses or colleagues that sabotaged you at work. You may have had partners who refused to work with you and that were petulant and very difficult for you to form a lasting bond with them. I get the impression that this, now that you're coming out of hermit mode, you've internalized those lessons from people who refuse to cooperate with you and that seem to sabotage the potential of the relationships, whether those are familial, romantic, or otherwise. And you're now taking that forward and allowing yourselves to work with people who are actually going to bring in that level of success. You're no longer in the 5, you're in the 6. The 6 is the restoration of balance. And we do have that theme here still in justice. Now, moving forward, we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. What I see is that you're not the type of person now that's going to be impulsively careless when it comes to the actions that you take in the near future. The Knight of Wands, it's less about, so you have the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Knight of Wands in the upright. It's less so much about being reckless. It's about thinking before you act and then taking the action. The Knight of Wands takes the action proactively, whereas the Page of Wands is curious about it. The Knight of Wands moves forward and takes a proactive step towards a situation. It doesn't always have to be, oh, we're traveling, or oh, we're, excuse me, oh, we're traveling, or oh, we're trying our best to, explore options and do all this stuff and being impulsive or reckless. That would more so be the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Knight of Wands in the upright is fearless, they're bold, they take action, they take steps. But with this Page of Swords, only after seeing things for what they are, doing your research, and observing people beforehand. Everything that you need to know about a person, typically, you can find out in a 5-minute conversation with them prior to engaging in something. Because there are oftentimes people who give away subtle clues that are unconscious to them, but you may be able to pick them up. And for anyone with Virgo placements or even Piscean placements, they can understand that. Scorpio is really good at that too. They can see that and they can pick it up immediately. So, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll pull an oracle message here and cap the reading off so that we can get on to the next one. What is the oracle message for today? What is the oracle message for today? All right. So, what is our oracle message for Taurus? you and your loved ones are safe. Moon in Cancer. And so, with a lot of the water energy taking place in the heart of the spread, your current energies, I'm under the impression that when we say you and our loved ones are safe, it means that you've weathered the storm. You are no longer within the eye of the storm. The storm has passed. The damage has been done, but you are now rebuilding and you are taking proactive steps to build this new life, which the storm has purged away the old life. It has washed it away. I'm getting like antediluvian vibes from this kind of energy, from this type of reading. It's like before the flood, things were in chaos. And now that the storm and the flood has passed, you are now getting the rainbow, which is indicative of the Ten of Cups here. And of course, the universe doesn't want us to put us through these storms per se, but that rainbow, I remember seeing that quite often when I had to go through challenging situations, either touring in Scotland or touring in other parts of the UK. When that rainbow formed, it was a kind of sign that said, you made it. The difficult part is over with. And I've always taken that imagery to heart, that symbolism, because what it does is it shows me that, no matter how difficult the situation I faced previously, prior to this flood, this cleansing and purging of all the stuff from our past lives that we have built in structures and in towers, we're now moving into a period where we can have a graceful new beginning, which is going to allow us to, again, be more at balance and also more self-focused in the things that we're trying to manifest at the emotional level. So that is the reading. Thanks so much again. This has been Aluminum Tarot, and it's great to have you back, everyone. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell so that you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies and not those of the collective, feel free to reach out to me at the information provided in the description box below. It's a pleasure to have you back, and also Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday season. And until next time, we're going to have love and light.